Hello, student. I hope you had a nice weekend and holiday. In this week, we are going to continue the meaningful online learning. We are going to study the part 2 of this subject. So welcome to week 5. The objectives of this week is to study and learn about the meaningful online learning design framework. I assume that you have learned the components of online learning with the Prof 1 in other course. So these are the three components of online learning. There are three parts: the learning technologies, the pedagogical models, and instructional strategies. The learning technologies that focuses on the types of learning modes through online learning or distance learning, which are the asynchronous and synchronous learning, the communication tools, the video conferencing, learning management system, and content management system. And the second part is the pedagogical models. So like we are now studying the meaningful online learning, but maybe you want to select the community of practice, or maybe the problem-based learning, the situated learning, and cognitive apprenticeship. So this is like the teaching methods that you are going to select, or the way of teaching your courses or your unit or your lesson plans. And the third part is the instructional strategies. When you select instructional strategies, it should align with the pedagogical models that you selected, and you designed your courses based on its principles. So the instructional strategies, like we have learned last week, they are collaboration, social negotiation and discussion, exploration, articulation and reflection, role playing, and problem solving. Now let's move to study about the meaningful online learning design framework. Just to remind you about the definition of meaningful online learning, that involves the students to do things and thinking about the things they are doing, and it contains of the 5 principles or characteristics, which are: the learning should be active, constructive, cooperative, authentic, and intentional learning. So this is the meaningful online learning design framework. It illustrates the relationship between the 3 components of the pedagogical models and the online learning, and the 5 characteristics of meaningful learning. So the 5 principles of meaningful online learning, which are the active, intentional, authentic, cooperative, and constructives, the guide designer or instructional designer, or we can say you are as a teacher and an instructor, to select instructional strategies and learning technologies and learning activities for your courses, or maybe for your lesson plans. To design your online course or your lesson plan, you need to draw like an alignment grid or table, for example, to align the learning outcomes of your course, the assessment of your course, how you are going to assess your students in order to accomplish these learning activities, and what are the instructional strategies that will help you and support the students' learning to achieve the learning outcomes, and what are the learning activities that you are going to select and guide students in order to perform these instructional strategies so you can assess their performance, and what are the learning technologies that are going to use in order to support students and to deliver your courses in order to help students to achieve the learning outcomes. So let's take an example. For example, the learning outcomes is I need you to understand the implication of the global warming on the earth. So I will assess you by give you an assignment as a blog post, and I will create rubric in order to assess your blog post and your contribution to the blog. And I will use instructional strategies like problem solving, role play, collaboration, and social negotiation. And the learning activities that I will guide you through understanding the problem carefully. So you need to define the problem, and I will guide you to work in a group to explore the information, and also to search for additional information, and to discuss the solution, and then present your finding front of the class as groups. The technology that you are going to use, the PowerPoint, in order to present your finding, the Google Meet and Google Docs to meet online to discuss the issue, and Google Docs in order to work together on writing the proposal, and also Google Slide to work on your presentation, to present your findings, and also of course the internet and maybe database if you want to search for additional information.